Welcome to Talking eBay. This episode's all about sourcing. How do you turn 20 into 500? Today we're going to talk about that on this podcast. Appreciate it as always. Let's get into it. So how do you source for products? So the best way to source, I find, is really yard sales and estate sales. So I've gone to many yard sales, many of estate sales, and I think the best luck, honestly, for me is the yard sales are the best. So I went to a community yard sale last week, and I like to bring the current information to you right now on this podcast to give you some information. So I went to a yard sale, and the first thing I do is I park the car. Of course, I'm from Boston, right? I park the car, and I look over all the vendors first. I walk up and down all the vendors, and I see what's available. I look at all the items. I get some ideas where I want to go, and I go to the high volume or the high value first. So I'll go to high value areas first. I'll look them up really quickly if I can, or if I know what they are. Sometimes I know a lot of things, like a lot of technology. I do know a lot of like VCRs, electronics, old tech. People love old tech. So, and usually if it's like $5 and under, I don't even get into looking at my phone because I know I can make money with most of this stuff. So of course you cannot test it. You really don't know what's really going on. You're not really sure if they're telling you the truth or not, if it's working. But definitely, you kind of look at it and take a look at it, and evaluate it yourself as you're shopping. So I went to this local yard sale, and it's a community one. They have it on once a year, and there was a bunch of stuff there, and not a lot of people there. So I was there about 9 o'clock. It opened at 8. So when I got there, I'm looking around and I see a bunch of cool stuff, but I'm looking at a lot of clothes. I'm not interested in clothes, but tons of clothes, tons of home stuff, pots and pans, all that kind of stuff. But I really wasn't interested in that. So I walked by a couple of tables and first thing I saw was an old, it was a VCR DVD combo. So right away I said, it's in the box. It looks decent. It looks like it's all there. So I asked the lady how much was it. She goes, oh, it's $5 okay? I said, sure. So I picked that up, put that in my car, went back out again and started scouting out some more locations. Looked all around. There's all kinds of stuff everywhere. So I went to a lot of different booths. So I basically picked up a lot of different things. This one guy at the end of the walk had a bunch of electronic stuff. He had some wireless microphones. He had a mini projector. He had what do you call it? A Blue Yeti, Raspberry microphone. So he had some cool tech stuff. So I grabbed a bunch of the stuff right away. Nobody was even looking at this stuff. So I grabbed it right away. I said, oh, how much you want for all this stuff? And he was telling me all about it because he's a tech guy. So he buys the newest things and gets rid of the old stuff, which is great. So we went back and forth a little bit, and bought a bunch of stuff for like $20. So these 5 items were roughly around $500 in retail. I didn't know that till I got home and started looking at them up a little bit, but I knew things were good. I knew the projector was the mini projector. As long as it worked, I knew it had some value. I knew the wireless microphones had some value. I knew the blue raspberry had some value. I know those run like between $40 and $60. I know the microphones were brand new, even brand new cheap microphones, even on Amazon, or even like $40-$50. So I looked up everything, and basically those 5 items. One was a emergency response thing, like a call for help kind of thing. They had that. So all those things roughly were $500 of retail, and retail conservative. I mean, really, I think you could even get a little bit more if you want to go put a long dollar, but I want to sell things quickly and I want to kind of get the average. And if you follow my Talking eBay YouTube channel, I do a lot of that kind of stuff. So if you will go over to that channel now, and actually did a review and unboxing of all these 5 items I just purchased. So you'll actually see them, and you'll see the comparisons live right there. So I did an unboxing, not an unboxing, but I showed you pretty much what I got, and I went over the values. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So go over there, jump over there when you're done with this podcast, and run over there and take a listen, take a look, and then you can see exactly what I got at this local yard sale. Now the DVD VCR combo thing, when I got it home, it had some smoke smell to the box, and that's can be an issue, not as much as it used to be years ago. So I have some like a Febreze odor killer kind of thing. So I sprayed the box down, I wiped down the unit. So hopefully that'll take care of that. Usually it does. That's a little tip for you to get these the Febreze and the odor neutralizer they sell, and it works great. So definitely spray it down. Don't worry if it gets wet. It'll dry, and most of the time it eliminates most of the odor. Sometimes you might need 2 or 3 applications, and that works also for clothing as well. So there's a pro tip for you as well. So if you come across smoked items, smoking, like the smell smoky, you can eliminate some of that and make it. And if it does smell, just make a note in your listing. Say came from a smoker's house, cleaned it as much as possible, and things like that. So definitely you can do that as well. So I took got the VCR home. Of course, it worked. Has the remote control, has the manuals, has everything all included. And I noticed it was a DVD recorder. So DVD recorders are worth more money than DVD players. So it was a combination VCR, DVD recorder, and I'll sell that for approximately $200 by itself. To 150 and 200, depending on the marketplace. Sometimes I'll sell it on Amazon. Sometimes I'll put it on eBay. I'll put it on Facebook Marketplace. I'll put it on Craigslist. So I'll take something like that and I'll multi-list that because you never know where it's going to come from. And I do love the local pickups with the cash, and it's nice and easy, and there's never any issues because I'm pretty upfront with everybody. So it really works well in that instance. So I do that. What else did I get? I think that was all I got. I think, oh yeah, I got some CBs. I walked by this other lady, and she had a whole box of like Cobra CBs. And I looked at this, corner of my eye. I said, "Well, these look really cool." She goes, "Oh yeah, my uncle, somebody passed away, and I'm just a whole tub like this, like 4 huge CBs of some CBs and a bunch of stuff in a box, and all the antennas." She goes, "Oh, take everything." I said, "Okay." We worked the deal back and forth. It was like $30 or $25, I forget. It wasn't a lot of money. Each CB, if they're working condition, are worth about 150 to 200 each. Cobra is a really good brand to look out for. So if you see Cobra in the marketplace, I mean, GE is okay and Realistic and Radio Shack is okay. But Cobra is like was top of the line back in the 80s and 90s. If you had a Cobra, you had money because they were like expensive. They were like high end, super high end CBs. And they still are popular today with truckers, people on the road all day, highway on a highway. Just the communication factor was really good. And so some of them did not have microphone. I didn't see everything. So she said some stuff was on the bottom. So time I took it all apart, got it home, some microphones weren't there, but I can get aftermarket microphones. I didn't have any plugs for the back, so I can get that stuff on Amazon. So at the end of the day, I mean, I got 4 beautiful 5 or 6 CBs, antennas, everything. There's got to be $1,000 there, approximately. Think about that, because each one of these CBs go for like at least $200. And I'll make a video for that too on my on the Talking eBay YouTube channel when I get done with that, and I'll show you all this stuff as well. So definitely subscribe to that Talking eBay channel. You'll see that as well. So I'm just giving you some food for thought. So when you walk by in a yard sale, go by, especially if it's a community yard sale. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of things happening. Everybody's unboxing everything and getting things ready. Don't be afraid to look around and negotiate, because people really don't want to take it home. And roughly, I probably got $2,000, maybe $1,500 worth of stuff for like $50, like for not a lot of money. It was like ridiculous. And you just never know. And a lot of the other stuff was like junk. Some people were trying to get too much money. Some people just, didn't want to negotiate. But this was a huge deal. So when you go to yard sales, go to estate sales. I always talk about this on my YouTube channel. You can always find good stuff. Don't be afraid to go the last day. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Don't be afraid to bring cash with you. They like cash better. People do Venmo, people do credit cards, but cash is sometimes a little bit more of a motivator for people. If you go to estate sales, that's okay. You can use credit card. But when you go to like a yard sale, you need cash, right? No one's really taking. I'm afraid of the whole Venmo thing, PayPal, whatever. But cash is king. When you walk out there and someone says, "Oh, I need 100," and say, "Would you take $50 cash?" And they think about that for a minute, right? And they say, "Oh no, well, let's negotiate a little bit more." And you can deal with that a little bit better when they see the money. Money is a motivator. Green money is a huge motivator for purchasing things, right? So when someone sees a bunch of cash, they know that you are a serious buyer, number one, and number two, that you are willing to go through with the deal. Just make a little bit better. Just negotiate with them, and you definitely will get there with them. So a lot of times when I go to yard sales and estate sales, I always look at the landscape and just see what's going on. And I'll pick my area and I'll pick the products that I like, that I'm interested in, because that's what you really should do, is buy things that you like, as well as things that you might know that. The more you know, the easier it goes, right? So if you get really, really the technology, I know a lot about technology. I know tech sells, old tech sells, old cassette tape players sell, anything old. I mean, you name it. I mean, VCRs, old tech, old, of course, Pokemon cards sell, but that's not that old. I'm talking about stuff from like the 80s, late 70s and 80s always sell. Atari sell. I mean, all the Nintendo stuff is really popular. So when you get out there, don't be afraid to spend a little money, as long as you can make it, because you always make your money on the buy. Always remember that. If you don't buy correctly, you might not make any money. And that's happened to me many times. I thought I was going to make a lot of money on something, a specific item, and I noticed, it's only worth so much money. So I was lucky if I got my money back. But when you buy in things like when I bought these CBs, I'll say a lot of them didn't have, like I said, didn't have power cords. Some of them didn't have microphones. but they had the body, they had the actual CB itself. The CB, you can get replacement microphones for like $35. Cobra, branded Cobra microphones. People have them online everywhere. So if I bought a microphone, I bought a power cable. So I'm into it, let's say for like $40, $35 for the unit. If it's worth 200 minimum, right? So that's a good value for you. You can say, okay, well, I can flip these three. I'll spend 100 to fix them, get them up to where they should be, but I'm going to sell them for 1,000. So it's okay to do that as long as you know what you're doing. Okay, so that's another thing. But a lot of times when you walk into an estate sale or even a yard sale, a private estate yard sale, people a little bit more savvy. They spend a lot of money. You'll see a brand new, CB in a box, and they're gonna want like $40 for it, $50 for it. And it's not even a high end brand, so you got to kind of know where your numbers fall. So that's super important when you're out there sourcing, especially for eBay, because eBay the number's a little bit lower. I don't know if you know eBay or Amazon. A lot of times you'll get more money on Amazon than you would on eBay, and the reason is because of the buyer pool. I think on Amazon's a little bit. I wouldn't call them high end. I would just call them that the resistance is a lot less. People are more conditioned. Let's call it conditioned to buy on Amazon. eBay kind of like it's a little bit old school. People don't think about eBay anymore as much until they want something really unique and different. Then they'll go to eBay. So that's another way of thinking about that, right? So you have old tech, old school stuff. Maybe it's popular on eBay, but also you can sell it on Amazon as well. So there's different ways of doing things when you're selling products. So another good tip for you is when you're going out, bring some batteries with you. If you want to test something, bring some batteries. If you go into a thrift store or bring a cassette tape or VCR, VHS tape, bring some batteries so you can test things because a lot of the places don't take things back and you don't want a bunch of broken stuff. So another tip for that is to do that as well. I've done that many times. But really the big key is when you're outsourcing, take your time, look at your niche that you like to look at. Even though I try to find a lot of different things, I'm always, looking at different things. Last couple of weeks ago, I picked up an oil can. I'm not really into, automotive and oil, and that's a huge subculture. People love cans of any type, right? Metal cans, tin cans, I don't care, cans and cans. So this little oil cans, like I got like $60. I paid $2 for it. I mean, I didn't even know what it was. I know it was cool. I know it was brass. I know it was old, right? But I didn't know what it was worth until I got home and said, wow, this is really worth it. And I sold it within a week. So that it's okay to go outside your niche, just buy the right price. If you paid $1 or $2 for something, no big deal. If it's not worth anything, throw it away. Because sometimes you take a little risk to make a good reward. And that's happened to me many, many times when I was outsourcing. So a really good tip is to go out there, use your phone, use your smartphone. People don't care if you're looking things up. People are used to it by now. All they care about is to sell their product. That's really what they care about. And that's really the biggest thing. So always bring cash with you, always have money with you, because you never know when you're going to come across a huge deal. You know what I mean? I've come across lots of things that people just wanted to get rid of. And I've filled my car up in no time, you know what I mean? Because I kept on going back and forth to my car with the VCR, and then I went back with the CBs, and then he went back with a bunch of things. So, and you just keep, putting stuff away in the car and just keep putting stuff away. And before you know it, you get a nice load of stuff. I got the walkie-talkies. I'm working on these. I got these 3 realistic walkie-talkies behind me. I got to check them. That was also part of the CB deal. So these 3 walkie-talkies, I got to check them out, make sure they work. They're old realistic walkie-talkies. Just looked on eBay real quick just now. I'm going to sell 3 of them. I have 3 of them. They're all exactly the same for $100. That was part of that deal. Again, old tech sells. People love the old CBs, old walkie-talkies, old Walkmans, old DVD players. I mean, the old multi DVD players do well. So definitely get out there. Don't be afraid to look around. Don't be afraid to go through boxes, because I found some things just digging through boxes. You just never know what's below other things. So take your time, look around, and if you're starting out sourcing, or if you're starting on eBay, check out my YouTube channel. It's called Talking eBay. And it's on YouTube. And just search for it. It comes right up. It should be able to come right up. And subscribe to the channel. And you'll be notified when I do new videos. And I do new hauls. If I go out on do some live broadcasting. And we talk about eBay. eBay Open just happened. Last week, we talked about that. New things happening with eBay, with technology. A lot of things happening with AI. It's huge. What's going on with AI? Excuse me. It's crazy. AI is taking off like unbelievable. People love AI. So there's so much information about that. Using a camera to search for things. Google Lens, if you're not sure what that is, that's another thing I teach you about. Searching online. Just so much tools and technology out there to make you super successful. The only difference, really the secret is putting in the effort and understanding the process. So once you put the effort in and understand the process, how to make money, you can do that. So there's plenty of money to be made out there. Like I said, you should check out my YouTube channel. You'll see the stuff I purchased. I'm going to do another video later with the CBs. You check that out too. The walkie-talkies I have over here, I got to get those ready. Right behind me. Yep, I got those ready. I got to get those just downstairs. I got to just check them out with batteries and just make sure they're okay. And that's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this quick podcast. Just it's a 15-20 minute podcast just to give you some information, some insight when it comes to yard sales, and especially this time of year. Now holiday time is coming. Church bazaars are huge. Don't ignore them. Church bazaars, you can make a lot of money. People bring all their stuff, and it's like think of it as a community yard sale, right? Everybody goes to these church bazaars or wherever you're located, wherever they have a hall, HOA, I don't care where it is. People get together and they sell their stuff. And that's where you find so many cool things. So definitely don't be afraid to go to those places. Look around. Again, scope it out, see what's out there. And if you see something you really like, grab it. Don't leave it there. Another huge tip, guys. When you're out there sourcing, sometimes if you see something you really like, don't walk by, grab it. Hold on to it, especially if it's one booth. Look around some more. If it's really popular, if you think it's really a hot item, grab it because someone else is going to grab it behind you. So that's another thing too. So it's kind of a catch-22 when you sort, looking at everything and then you say, oh, I love, I want this. Oh, I got to get this. And then you miss something else in another booth. But you know what? It's all about timing. It's all about, finding the right items at the right time and just take your time. So definitely don't forget the holiday bazaars. They're huge, and the coming up now is we're getting into October now. This is October, and it's coming now. So lots and lots of things coming out now. A lot of people are just, the end of the yard sale season is coming on now. So you have another month or so roughly in the Northeast to go yard sailing, and you can look around. And at that point, people really want to get rid of their stuff. So this is the best time to just go around and say, I'll take all this. What do you, what's the best deal you can give me? And they don't want to go crazy. They'll say, oh, you can take all these VCRs. Oh, give me $20. And it's like 5 of them. So take them. Doesn't matter. Even if they're broken, you can sell them. I mean, people just like old tech. I'm telling you. So don't be afraid. Get out there. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out my podcast also here as well. Check out all the different episodes. I'm going to be doing them once a week or so just to fill you in on what I've been finding, what I've been doing, so I can give my information and my experience to help you to go out there. And don't be afraid to look at something. And once you get it, guys, please don't forget to list it, because you know what? Sitting in your house is not going to help you. It's just going to end up in the landfill. So if you buy something, research and list it before you start over again. You don't need a death pile. Everybody talks about these death piles. It means so much crap you don't need. You just don't need it all. Keep it simple. Buy a small amount, whatever it is, and then process it. Get it through. Either it's broken, fix it, or junk it. That's what you have to do, okay? And then sell it. So either way. So that's what I think the best process is behind that is the way to do it, okay? So you find stuff, process it, sell it, move it on, junk it, whatever it is. Just don't hold on to it because it makes no money, because you got to realize if I have something today and it's worth, let's say, $100, and then I go sell it a year and a half later, that product could have fell off. Maybe it's only worth $20 because there's something new and greater and the price just drops. It happens all the time. People hold on to stuff too long, and I'm guilty of it. And it's just, like Beanie Babies. For instance, people hold on to Beanie Babies and they think they're worth a fortune. What happened to Beanie Babies? They crashed. Pokemon's a different story. That's like a subculture. I can't tell you how many first generation Charizards I sold for $25, which was a lot of money back in the 90s, right? But how do I know they're going to be worth $500,000-$600,000 today? I mean, I must have sold 5 million of them. I mean, $5 million worth. Think about it. I used to open up the packages and sell the Charizards because that was a popular card, right? In the first generation one, I had them all the time. And $25, I was ecstatic. A pack of cards back then cost me $2. So, and then you can sell the other cards too. So there's so many opportunities out there to look at, and and it's still popular today. McDonald's right now is having Pokemon. My granddaughter opened up a card the other day. It was a Pikachu hologram. I said, let me see that card. I looked on eBay, $15 for that. The Happy Meal was $4. I mean, come on. I said, you don't want that, do you? She goes, no, you can have it. So she gave it to me. So I'll probably sell that too. I'll sell everything. So that's kind of how it started for me. I used to, and I'll tell you more of my story as these podcasts unfold. I'm going to tell you the next podcast will be pretty much how I started out on eBay. And you won't believe how it started and the journey and how it all began. So it's a very interesting story, and you're going to love it because it's the story of exactly what happened to me and how I started and how I grew on eBay. So that's what I have for you. Around 20 minutes right now. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope I brought you some some food for thought. I hope I brought you some inspiration. It was most importantly inspiration, and I hope I brought you some value. So if I did, don't forget to listen to my other podcasts and I guess subscribe or however, just I guess what you do with whatever the podcast. I'm new with the podcasting, so forgive me if I don't really know what's happening, but that's what it is. But definitely check out the YouTube channel, Talking eBay. And I appreciate all your time as always, and I'll see you at the next podcast. Thanks for listening.